Hello and welcome to today's December 23rd Daily News Report. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. On this channel, I keep you in the loop on what's going on in Washington, D.C., the U.S. economy, with Biden's Build Back Better stimulus package, money, investing, and much, much more. My usual cash giveaway has been paused until after the holidays. I've already lined up some great video sponsors to continue to do awesome giveaways to help those in our community that want to earn a little extra money. So if you like being kept in the loop on what's going on in a very short and summarized video while having an easy opportunity to win some free cash, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. All right, I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to my YouTube community from the Gardner home. I see that many of you have been wishing me and my family a Merry Christmas, and I just want to say how much I appreciate that. So thank you so much. I hope that you have a nice holiday. Well, on some positive news, according to Biden's Commerce Secretary, the logjams and the bottlenecks on the supply chain have been reduced by 50% since summer. This means that more goods are finally making their way through the ports and into the country on the back of trucks. However, there has been some pushback on this data, as there are still over 90 cargo ships waiting to offload goods off the coast of California. Some of the alleviation on the supply chain came from ships rerouting to the state of Florida, which has less restrictive trucking and truck laws and had more bandwidth in order to handle large cargo ships. Also, many ships have just been redirected to the East Coast, which seems to be moving product much, much faster than California. This means that we could see some price reductions as we move into January and February, as the demand starts to drop and the supply starts to rise. As we find that balance, many economists are saying to expect price reductions in the very near future. So that's very, very good news. The Commerce Secretary said we should see far fewer disruptions in the supply chain moving forward. Analysts at Goldman Sachs say the increasing prices on new cars will likely calm in the second quarter of 2022 as chip manufacturers are starting to catch up on new chip production. The same firm suggested used cars will likely peak and start to come down in value in the first quarter, or essentially late February or early March. So if you've been putting off buying a new car or a used car, you're about to find that balance of, hey, you're still getting a lot of value out of selling your car, and hey, you're not spending as much to get a car. So that should help a lot of people. I know that as you've been buying new cars and used cars, man, those prices have been absolutely high lately. The Supreme Court has officially agreed to take on Biden's vaccine mandate lawsuit. They will start hearing from both sides, the pros and the cons of this government authority, in the first week of January. A new poll from the University of Michigan showed that Republican voters are more optimistic about the economy and 2022 than Democrat voters in this same poll. A new poll from the economists showed 59% of Americans believe the country is headed in the wrong direction. 26% said they believe the country is headed in the right direction, but that more needs to be done. And only 4% of the country believes the economy is really good. Now, I thought that was really interesting. That's a really, really low number. Only 4% believe it's really, really good. So hopefully things continue to improve in 2022 as prices come down, wages go up, and things start to normalize. President Biden said there will be a blue wave in 2022 and predicts many seats will be won by Democrats in this election cycle, which is the exact opposite of what many polling specialists and voting specialists believe. One spokesman from the Democrat National Convention said things are going to get rough next year. 23 House members, Democrat House members, have announced they won't seek re-election. Biden's inflation approval rating is at 28%. His crime approval rating is at 36%. And his tackling of immigration at the border is at 34%. So there's a lot of hurdles for them to overcome in order to get the blue wave President Biden is promising. Speaking of Democrats, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said Republicans are now openly courting Senator Joe Manchin to switch parties, saying he is a Republican that just hasn't admitted it yet, and if he moved over, he would be treated with great respect. So the red is definitely trying to pull the blue across the line when it comes to Senator Manchin. Speaking of Manchin, Biden's top priority is to move the country to renewable and green energy, yet coal use and production are off the charts right now, trying to help offset the rising cost of natural gas, heating oil that gets produced into gasoline, and electricity. Coal plants in China are producing like crazy. And even France is looking at more coal use and production and nuclear energy to help with the energy crisis they are feeling in Europe. Kind of interesting to see the home of the Paris Climate Accord now saying we might have to go back to using coal and oil and nuclear power in order to maintain the prices that Europeans need in order to stay warm or to stay cool. I think we're going to see a lot of major shifts in the energy sector over the next 10 years, and that will reshape the economy in many, many ways. I think that many existing energy sources are going to pour more investment capital into innovation and improvement than they have in a very long time. So it's going to be very interesting to see what life looks like over the next 10 years. I know many of you have been hit hardest at the grocery store, and especially in the meat section. We are dealing with something they are now calling meatflation, where meat has risen in price much, much faster than other areas of the grocery store. All meat has gone up, but none of them have sustained that increase like beef. As I did some research, I've learned two big areas of blockage that got us where we are today. Because of COVID concerns, many meat packing plants shut down or reduced their hours. This meant less meat was being produced on the assembly lines. With less meat moving through factories, ranchers scaled back on the number of cattle they were trying to birth during this time in order to save money and survive as a cattle ranch. Now, with meat packing plants back to full capacity, ranchers are saying, hey, we need patience and time in order to get the supply back up on the farms and ranches all across the United States. So the price of meat the high price of meat won't last forever, but ranchers and meat suppliers are asking for patience as they rebuild their supply chain. I'm sure many of you have just switched to pork or chicken or other meats that have not seen such a big increase in price. The FDA has cleared a second COVID at-home pill that claims to reduce hospitalization by upwards of 80%. So hopefully it does, and hopefully they can get producing that and into people's hands so that life can get back to normal. President Biden announced he supports removing the filibuster so the Democrat-only voting rights bill can be voted on and passed as soon as possible. However, some critics are saying you can't change the voting rules in the Senate in order to change the voting rules of the country, especially when it's only one party that's trying to change the federal voting laws. So this fight over the filibuster in Washington, D.C. continues, but this is the first time that Biden has really come out in support of removing the filibuster. He's talked a little about it in the past, but this was his strongest push to have it removed. Now, speaking of Biden, media outlets are saying that President Biden is either very shy or being instructed not to speak with them during unscripted interviews or without teleprompters. Biden has only done 16 interviews since becoming president. To compare this over the same time frame, Donald Trump had done 72 and Barack Obama had done 155. So almost 10 times as many as Joe Biden. Kind of interesting. Biden also takes the cake on the most time away from the White House, with 30 trips back to his own home in Delaware and 89 nights away from the Oval Office. Again, to compare, Obama during this same time frame was only away from Washington, D.C. 8 nights and Trump 41 nights. Ricky from the community says, Stephen, I am back to work and have extra money now. Can you start doing more money-related videos? Also, what is the very best investment on the planet? So thanks for your question, Ricky. Yes, I do plan to do more money-related videos going forward. As for the best investment in the world, that really depends on your goals, what interests you, how many years you have until retirement. Do you actually believe in retirement? So there's a lot of methodology that goes into picking the plan that makes the most sense for you. For example, I'm a big believer in real estate, but real estate's really high right now. So I bought a rental property during this COVID situation, but I don't know that I'm going to buy another one just because of how high prices are. I also really like Ethereum, which is a crypto, and I see others rising much, much faster, but Ethereum is the one that I believe in and continue to put money in because of their business model and the fact that I think they'll actually survive once all the other coins start to fall off. So I'll be telling you more about that as well. I'm also a big believer in owning your own business, or at least a side business. I will also be talking more about index funds so that you can capture large sections of the U.S. economy or the international economy. But I also like to buy into individual stocks that I think could boom over the next 10 years. I never buy anything just hoping it's going to boom overnight. So I look for those, what's going to do really well over the next decade. So I'll be covering the good, the bad, and the ugly in future videos. But the place that I have my own, most of my own personal money is a strategy that I talk about in my book, Taming Wall Street, which you can find on Amazon if you'd like to read more about that. So thanks for the question, Ricky. And yes, I will be doing a lot more standalone videos on money for all areas, right? Ideas for seniors, ideas for younger people, ideas with crypto, ideas with stock, ideas with real estate, cars, all kinds of good stuff. By the way, thank you guys so much for giving these videos a like. I really appreciate it, and I just love bringing you guys the news. So I hope you enjoy receiving it from me. Now, this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more. Remember, the giveaways that Casey and I love doing, those will resume after the holidays. And I'm already working with some great people to do giveaways all through 2022. So if you like being kept in the loop on what's going on in our country and in politics and money and having a free opportunity to win some money, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Now, before you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.